called?
Well, hello, Disney Connections and fellow Disney freaks. Welcome to another episode of Taco Tuesday. Oh my goodness. This is our first podcast.
Yeah.
If that's what is that what it's called?
Is this really a podcast? Like, I thought we had to have headphones and microphones.
I thought podcast was just over the radio, like over the
like
app.
not
They can't hear
visual.
you.
Like podcasting app?
This
Spotify?
Is
What's the definition? What is the definition of a podcast? Somebody look it up.
Look that up.
Mary,
Podcast.
what's
Somebody look it up. Jeez.
Oh. Please hold.
Mary had to open her own beverage, so she's not looking it up.
Right.
Oh,
So what are we in for tonight?
I have no
We have to
clue.
know what it is.
Let's get the definition.
Okay, hold.
Oh, here we go. We got the definition of podcast.
Podcast, or the pronunciation podcast. Why does the A have two dots over it for podcast?
Case?
Ah.
Pod case?
I'll give you the English lesson after the podcast.
What's a lesson?
That's a lesson after a bourbon.
Roger that.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Okay, so
I've had one sip.
does this qualify as being a podcast? A digital audio file made available on the internet for downloading to a computer or mobile device, typically available as a series, new installments of which can be received by subscribers automatically.
But it says audio
Done.
though.
Welcome to the podcast.
Right. That's what
I
I'm talking
feel
about.
like this is a podcast plus
Mhm.
because it's video,
Video.
too.
Yeah.
We have plussed the podcast.
So it's like a vlogcast.
We're,
Vlog, that's a new name.
Vlogcast.
Yeah, a vlogcast.
No, vlog.
Vlog.
That's
vlog.
a vlogcast. That's after two bourbons.
Well,
Cheers.
you know, just so we can get started, and
It's
you
so
know.
bright in here.
it is. It's a nice.
Sorry,
bright-
this thing burns crazy bright.
It's like a TV studio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
This
Welcome
actually
in.
is a studio. We built an exact replica of my living room in the garage so that we could set the podcast up in there.
That was awful smart of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to bring these walls back in before
Right.
I go to bed.
Welcome in, Disney Dynamicks. So, figure we
And
probably
his
want
wife.
it. And your wife.
Chris, Disney Dynamicks, and wife.
Yeah. Mary. I'd give us a name, you know.
She's the one you can't hear.
Yes.
And she had to open her own drink, so.
Yeah. I keep looking at that one. It's not even pointed at me. I got two other options. But I'm looking
Where do
for.
I look? I don't even know.
You look over there.
I mean, really, you don't look at the camera, but
Right, we're supposed to look
you
at
can
each
look
other.
at the camera, like if you want to break that fourth wall.
Or that fourth wall.
Or that one right over there.
So if like we do a zoom in and I need to smolder, or I'm like,
I can definitely zoom that in.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. That's happening right
Stop,
there.
because I thought he finally stopped doing that. No.
So what is our reason for being here, Rob?
I have no clue.
Yes, you do.
Um,
You do.
No, I mean, you know, Taco Tuesday. I envision Taco Tuesday as being an avenue to share our Disney connections. So the people that we've met throughout this
Dynamically.
dynamically, right, share our Disney connections that we've met throughout this YouTube journey. So that's kind of what every Tuesday there's going to be a different person, a different group, or a different conversation.
So I think you brought up the word journey. I think we should start there.
Okay.
Because the four of us have had similar but very different journeys to get to where we are with the purpose that we set out to accomplish. Yours was very abrupt.
As it always
You could
is.
say that.
Yep.
Yeah, everything
We do
we
things
do.
abruptly.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean,
don't waste any time.
Since this is like our first sit down, why don't, I mean, these are all your viewers and
I mean, they're
subscribers.
our viewers because a lot of them came from you to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, right?
No, but I mean, we really, it's been insane. Like the last 2 years. So starting with COVID, I mean, the world shuts down, and we started a little bit before COVID. We did, but well, you guys were too, right?
We were after you.
Okay, so you want to talk about journey and how we got here.
Yeah.
Our channel is very similar for a very clear reason. Like, we watched your channel, and I liked what you did, and I liked the box opening and the on camera talking to the person out there in YouTube world.
The authenticity, like it was real.
That when we started the channel, that was really, there were so many unboxing channels at the time. Well, there weren't that many actually at that time. Once COVID hit, it was obnoxious how many there were. But so we started in July of 2019, so pre-COVID by a little bit.
Yeah.
But we just thought there was kind of a gap in it. It seemed to be a lot of the same kinds of people that were doing it with the same kinds of reactions and attitude toward it, and it felt like everything was fake and happy.
Way fake.
Well, right, and I think I said, I'm like, all of this can't be fabulous, phenomenal
Right.
things that these people are getting, and then we found you, and you were like, I'm like, all right, this is our channel, like. I
mean, I did throw stuff at the wall, and that wasn't like, that was just honesty though. Like, the ones that were really over the top that I was upset about came from a real place. Because I tried not to beat up anybody, and if it was like 50-50, I tried to lean in the way of, it's
we'll try
good.
It again. We'll give it one more chance.
And
it was never mean.
Right.
We never felt like it was mean.
Right.
It was just honest.
Yeah. And the thing that blew me away is how many boxes we did and how few duplicates we had. The whole time we did it, and like the last year that we did it, we were doing videos twice a week. So we were doing 2 boxes a week from all different companies, and of course you put in your preferences and you do all that kind of stuff, but preferences are only so much. It's just what characters you like and what merch you like. Specifically, do you like ears? Do you like whatever it is?
Right.
And we never would like go in and say, we have this one, we have this one, we have this one, because it would be ridiculous. We had 2 boxes, like, they were flowing in like crazy, so we had merch everywhere. And through all of that, we only had 2 duplicates the whole time we did the videos, which is insane. That shows how much crap is out there.
Right?
Like,
because those companies can't possibly be doing enough research.
No,
like,
not at all.
I mean,
and we are specific about, we don't want ears, we don't want
princesses.
pop, we don't want princess, we don't want, so I mean, we have a lot of don't wants, and we still only had 2 duplicates. Like, that's crazy to me that there are so many things out there that are specific from Disney, and it's always evolving. It's a relentless stream of cool stuff. There's just so much content, but unfortunately, with COVID, there were so many unboxing channels that I think you could have started a box company based strictly off of selling it to YouTubers.
I think many companies did.
Right.
Or they flourished because of it.
Or they tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so much stuff, but I mean, back in the day, it was so much fun. When I actually, I don't remember if it was a back surgery, if it was COVID, I got shut down for maybe a month and a half, and I had a stack of boxes that almost hit the ceiling, like because they were coming
I think that was when you almost died.
Yeah.
That was COVID.
Yeah. So, but I mean, then we get to come back, and I think we had like 25 boxes to go, and we're like, it was fantastic.
Now, how many days did that take you to film those?
So I was very lucky. I had somebody that could do all my editing, do all my stuff. So I mean, really, the amount of time that I put into it was nothing. I mean, each of those videos, I probably spent like 15 minutes of just sit down, unbox it, and walk away. And I would take the pictures in the photo box, and I would do all that kind of stuff, and then just editing would magically happen.
And then it would take like an hour to clean up all the confetti and.
She spent more time cleaning up confetti than I spent making the video.
Well, you were the confetti What was your title?
What was it?
You had a T-shirt, didn't you?
Yeah, no, there was a. Well,
Yeah.
you didn't have a T-shirt.
In the trailer.
There was a
The,
T-shirt that said confetti something on it.
Just got confetti, but no,
Oh.
but her title.
Mary was
It was the official something.
yeah, official confetti remover, or
Something like
Yeah.
that.
cleaner upper, or something
Yeah,
like that.
Something along that line. But no, it was very easy. For what I did was nothing. The real work is in the editing, and I just cannot get it. I'm not computer savvy enough. I was taught over and over again, and I could work my way through some of it, and like I know what I want, you know. So
Go lay down.
when it gets edited, then I would have notes to adjust things or volumes or transitions or whatever it is. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have it in me. I know what I want, and I know what I want it to look like, and I would make the editor very angry, frustrated, because I knew what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like, and whether or not it was right or not, I don't know.
Right.
But I just knew what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I miss doing that so much. I mean, it was the anticipation. So we were doing, like, toward the end we were doing twice a week. So I think we were doing like Wednesday morning and Saturday morning or something like that.
Saturday mornings. I know Saturday mornings was.
Saturday mornings was
there.
forever.
Because that's what
Yeah.
the first thing we did on Saturday morning was
Yeah.
watch your video, and if it wasn't there, I'm like, what's going on? What
That's
do
so
what do we do? Like,
That and DFB. So we would watch your video and watch DFB to get the news for our Saturday show,
yeah.
for our Saturday
That's
live.
so cool.
You know.
And then I mean we connected a little bit. I don't remember through Facebook or something.
We won your
Yeah.
giveaway for
Yeah.
it was a plush.
And then at one
Did you ever
point,
get it?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we got
Actually, you just put it in auction.
it and it just left us.
Yeah.
what was it?
It was it was one of those Main Street
Main
minis.
Street.
The
Yeah, it was a Mickey.
Oh, one of the that
Mickey.
was hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to get them.
Oh,
it was
yes.
on Shop Disney, and it was like every month I think it was or something like
Which
that.
one was it? Tiki Room or was
No.
it?
No, we have that one in your closet.
It was
Which one was
Small
it?
World.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
she'll have
there was a
that one.
long name for those.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Mickey Mouse. Mickey's Main Street. I don't know. Yeah.
It's probably just like travel trinket posts, whatever.
That's a good name. Magical Trinket Parcel Post.
Magical trinket parcel post. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so we would won that, and I'm like, at what point do you think we could like reach out and be like, hey, we want to be friends, and it not be like creepy?
We're
And
not there yet.
We're
Yeah,
not there
right.
yet.
No, we're still working on that. Reach out next week, maybe.
Okay.
No, I mean for real. Like, you watch YouTube and you watch these people on YouTube, and you get to know them, and you buy into their family and their life, and even on the flip side of it, like our subscribers and the people that we interact with, it's the same thing. It's like I know these people through their comments and through the way that they interact with us.
Yeah.
But my son would tell us, you're not really friends with them. They're just YouTubers.
Right.
He's
And it's weird because
Yeah.
then you meet them in person. Like we've run into Tim Tracker like half a dozen times now, and it feels like he should know me
Right?
because I've spent hundreds of hours watching him and his family, and then you see him and you're like, wait, I'm Chris.
Right.
Like
We just talked last month.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now that now we see Tim and we're just like, because we know how much he gets stopped, and so we're just like, hey Tim, I don't want to take a picture every time
Right.
and stop him like that, but it's meaningful. Like they're part of the Disney experience. They're part of when we would be leading up to a trip, we would pound YouTube. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was Tim. It was Resort TV 1. I would sit up with my daughter watching Resort TV 1 back in the beginning. He would do the quiet walkthroughs where he would just hold the camera, occasionally say a couple words, but just stroll, and you just had the ambient sound, the music, and you, especially when he walked at night,
Yeah.
and he seemed to always pick the right part to be super quiet. You'd see some families and you'd hear kids a little bit, but you're just walking through like you're walking through. It was first person. I'm in Disney, and it just gets you so pumped up. There's so many different channels that had so many different styles of the way they do things. You know, Tim is very pro Disney, but at the same time, when something he eats is gross, he's like, ugh!
Yeah.
You know, like he's not afraid to go, don't do that. You know, like
It's for real.
right.
Right.
The ones that just bother me are the ones that are just pro all the time, and that's where I kind of came from for our channel. Was like, it's not all good, you know, and it didn't even necessarily reflect bad on the box company of why did you give me this? They don't know me, but you're allowed to not like something Disney. There's not all of it is perfect.
Right.
I don't want to wait in a line 3 hours for whatever, you know. I mean, there's downsides
I didn't want
to
to
it
see
all.
some monstrosity in the middle of the water at Epcot.
Right.
Like, a lot of people loved Harmonious.
Yeah.
Like, loved it. I know people that would die by the sword over Harmonious, and I'm like, I don't care how good the show was from those 2 points that you could actually see it.
Right.
It's the fact that it just took up the entire lagoon.
Harmonious actually grew on me.
It did.
So in the beginning, it was so different than what we're used to, and I know you guys have said the same thing. The lack of Walt was disturbing for me because something about I gotta hear his voice. Like there's so much more meaning, even though they're putting it in and they're making it fit, and it's still his voice. It
Right.
still is the thought behind what he's saying. It may fit the situation, you know, like it just, so that threw me off. But then the second time I think we watched the show, I just tried to just pay attention, and it was really good. The whole downfall for me for Harmonious was the fountains are going to cover up the steel. And they tried, you know, they ran them sometimes, and it was just like it sprung a leak. It just wasn't enough to make any kind of impact to cover up. You know, it was when they did the drawings, it was like just this ball of water.
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
don't
'cause
barely remember them being
Yeah.
on when the
It was
show was.
very rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they were burning up pumps because it was, they were still throwing a lot of water. They're big structures.
Yeah.
But to cover that and not see it is just not a realistic move.
Well, I think, you know, and I've said this 1,000 times. I've probably even said it here on the channel. Like, you know, when you look at progressions of shows or attractions or whatnot, you always expect it to be better than the last one, right? I.e. Tron, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, World of Color in DCA is a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
And when they first started talking about Harmonious and looking at the drawings, that's what I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought it was going to be World of Color, but bigger, because you have a bigger place and you have a 360-degree viewing, you know, and it didn't end up being that.
Yeah.
I mean, you had 2 good locations to watch it from. The other locations were okay,
Right.
and it grew on me. But unless you're at Port of Entry or at the American Pavilion, you missed out on 90% of the show.
Yep. Yeah, and I think we had this conversation before. It would have been a perfect show for a setting like Fantastic, where it's a one-sided area, and it's all just locked down, and everybody gets a good view.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned Walt, and the idea that they took Walt out of Epcot when Epcot was really the vision for Disney World.
Yeah.
I mean, it became Walt Disney World because Roy knew that it was his. Like, you know, Disneyland was his original vision, and he was moving and making a park in Florida, but it was Epcot was the center. You know, not Magic Kingdom.
Community, the actual community.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that was his vision of it all. You
The
know.
park was a way to pay for it.
Right.
The Epcot was he really wanted to change the way we live as human beings in the country. Like, really designing full cities that work, that use people movers and monorails and spoken hub, and, you know, like, it just, and I still think it's a great idea. Whether or not it's feasible in the real world, nobody really knows because nobody's ever done it. But
Kind of reminds me of The Giver.
The Giver.
Well, they had that spoke that wheel thing, and they had all the
The utopia.
communities. It's a
Yeah.
utopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and what's the first thing they build that's near a city? Celebration.
Yeah.
It's just a vacation community. It's a beautiful, very beautiful. No, I really like Celebration. Unfortunately,
I love
it had its problems when it was built because had construction issues. It was built fast. It was built cheap. But and even now you can go downtown and they're getting better. They're reeling it back in. But for a while there's a lot of wood rot. There's a lot of obvious issues with some of the main downtown commercial buildings that were. And here's the thing. So the place was really, the main neighborhoods were painted houses. You build one whole community in one shot, the whole thing ages at the same time.
Right.
So the whole thing slowly turns to crap. And then you have to repaint, and then one repaints, and then one repaints. So then you got half the houses looking good, half the houses look, so it when normal building happens, it happens more gradually, not just like, ta-da, the whole city's open. So that's I don't think that's ever happened anywhere where the whole damn city aged at the same time. And then you have to fix it.
Yeah, I love Celebration.
It's beautiful.
Some of the best pizza in Orlando, I think. But one of the things that I'd have to say kind of bugs me about it is it feels almost like a park. When you drive through, when you're walking through, it just feels like an extension of Magic Kingdom, kind of in a
feels like a facade.
It feels like a facade.
Yeah.
And that's not what I think of Walt's vision for Epcot. Walt's vision for Epcot was always progressive.
Right.
Pushing the limits and doing what can you do that is better, that helps.
And I mean, the vision for Celebration wasn't Epcot. I mean, the vision for Celebration was, let's see how much we can charge for houses. Let's see how tight we can get them to each other so we get more of them in there. I mean, Celebration is built so. I mean, not all the neighborhoods. There are some areas that are big, nice yards with giant houses that are way out of my price range. It is a melting pot. I mean, you've got giant places. You've got nice size houses tied together. You've got condos. You've got and it's right there. I mean, the location is everything for that. It's not as Golden Oaks, but it's a great place. I wish somebody would take a crack at real Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to happen.
What, did you have a comment?
No.
So let's put the question out there. Let's say somebody said, let's do this. Let's take his vision, let's take the storyboard, and let's really build Epcot.
No. Hey. You were perfectly happy over there.
So from what we've seen, from the models, where do you see problems with Epcot? With his original design?
With his original design? Well, I think I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know that I see problems with it. I mean, I know they're trying to build this on a smaller scale in 3 different states now. Like there's one in California, in Palm Desert, where they're building next to Smoke Tree Ranch, and then there's one that's opening. What is it? Wisconsin? What? There's
you would think Wisconsin?
I haven't heard of that. No.
There, maybe Michigan. I don't know. There's communities. I think there's 3 right now that are being built in different places where they're trying to kind of integrate some of these ideas that he had for a working city on a small scale. But I've also heard that the places that they've built here, like when they build a community like that, they throw all these rules into it of what you can and can't do, which is interesting that I said that it reminds me of The Giver, because there were very strict rules in the communities, in the utopian communities there. And I kind of feel like some of that happens under Disney, where they're building this neighborhood, or they've built a neighborhood very close to Disney already. It's already there. And you can move into these houses, you can buy these houses, but you don't have control over what you do to your house.
That's called, is that the Golden Community?
Golden Oaks.
Golden Oak, yeah.
Golden Oak. So like you have to get permission to hang a picture. You have to get permission to change any of the colors or any of that sort
And
of
there's
thing.
good and bad to both to that too, because if you spend $10 million on a house and your neighbor paints his house purple, you're going to be pissed.
I totally agree. I totally agree, but it's a slippery slope there.
Because then
like,
there's no creativity. Then
well,
there's no.
and is it really yours? Like,
Right.
you know, you own this house that you don't have control over what happens to it or what you can and can't do with it. And who wants that? I mean, I don't know. Some people do want to be told exactly what they can and can't do, and they want to be under that kind of control because then they just have, it's simpler to make this, they don't have to make the decisions. But some people, on the other hand, are like, wait, I bought this, I paid for this, this is mine, I should have complete control over what happens here. So I don't know. Is that a mirror of our country, actually?
Right.
And we won't get into all that, but you know.
So my biggest concern with the original design with Epcot, so it's very public transportation based, and all electric. So we're talking monorails, and we're talking people movers, and you know, like all that kind of stuff. And you have this big, high density population in a very small area to make it profitable and usable, and make sure that there's people in all those people movers and all that kind of stuff. The event of natural disaster in that situation is very scary to me. So the grid goes down and there's a wildfire or there's a tornado and no one can leave.
Right.
Because everything's down. Now what? You
And-
know, like it's like real world working every day, great idea.
Yep.
But the evacuation is a problem. The
Going anywhere outside your community really becomes an issue.
right, so all the way around the outside of this, is there a garage where everybody has their own car, and you just get outside the bubble, and then you leave
drive
with your car.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is I think one of the biggest things, and I'm not afraid to get political here, but I think that this is not political, and that is the connection to the rest of the world. Like,
Yeah.
Are you limiting that connection?
you know, it's community of tomorrow. It's not city or state or country of tomorrow, right?
How do people visit you for Christmas?
Right.
Where
How
do
do they
they
get
park?
in?
How do you make sure that you still have that socialization within your little community to where you're not shut off from the rest of the world?
Yeah, and I'm sure Walt is one of the smartest people to live. Like, look at what he's done and with nothing. I mean, his company was so small when he decided to build Disneyland that he mortgaged everything. Like, I mean, it was make or break. And look at what he's built. But so do I think he has had ideas on how to? I'm sure he thought through some of this stuff. You can't tell what was in his mind by a model that somebody else built. So I'm not judging I'm just judging what I see, not what was in his head. You know, like I'm positive that he had thought. I think he thought more about Epcot than pretty much anything. Like he seems so passionate about wanting to, and maybe this is just a model. Maybe this is the extreme end, where he wants to prove some of this stuff works. It doesn't have to be perfect, but he wants to show. He just doesn't want to change a normal neighborhood into a hub and spoke. He wants to show big ideas. So maybe this is more. I mean, Walt was very. What were the big shows? The World.
World Fair.
Oh, the World
World
Fair.
Fair.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a big World's Fair project. You know what I mean? Like this is proof of concept. This is so I don't want to like poo-poo all of his stuff and say it's not gonna work. This may be a model, and we adjust.
And
So
maybe
we
it's
start.
not for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a choice. Do you want to live here? Do you want to live like this? Would this be better suited for your personality and for your vision of what your life is going to be.
As
It's
an
not-
experiment. And
yeah,
build.
everybody doesn't
Right.
have to do it, but like, cause part of me would be like, yeah, I'll sign up. Like,
Yeah.
that sounds
Yeah.
great. It sounds so simple,
Right.
and after being 29 for several years, like I feel like simplicity is kind of where I'm headed at this point. So it sounds good to me. Do I want to give up traveling and want to give up like new experiences outside of something like that? No.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I mean, we watch a lot of those utopian type films, right? And the one of the common themes of all of those is how much are you willing to give up? How much of your liberty are you willing to give up to have security, to have comfort, to have ease?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think another part of it is the buy-in of other people to support you in that, right? I mean, I think of both of us, or all four of us. We moved to Florida on a hope and a dream, and with a lot of opposition.
Yeah.
I mean, and people that don't understand exactly what it is that we're doing, right?
And so many people that think you're an idiot.
Crazy, right? And so you're not buying into that idea, and I think Walt came up against those kind of people with his ideas.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he pitched pieces of Epcot to cities all around the country, like, coming in and telling Los Angeles, let's put a monorail in here.
Right.
This will help our traffic situation.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're crazy. That's too big. You can't do that.
How did he prove the safety of the monorail before it actually opened?
Wasn't it at a World's Fair?
He kidnapped the president, the vice
Oh,
president.
right, Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Secret Service had
It was
no
an
idea. He's like,
accident.
let's just go.
Total accident, right?
Oh yeah.
He said, take them
That's
for a
also-
ride, Bob.
It was also an accident that the Spruce Goose took off, right?
Right.
Like, how else? Get in here, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, let me show you how confident I am in this invention.
Yep.
Not that he invented the monorail. Monorails were,
No, he'd seen it over in Europe.
yes.
Yeah.
They didn't
And
look cool like
actually-
Buck Rogers.
Right.
They
You
were
know what's-
toasters.
Yep.
Speaking of Europe, what's interesting is that, I don't know, I've grown up in the Disney culture. I've spent a lot of time in Disney. I've seen all the movies. We've gone to the parks, a lot of time. Thinking that Walt had come up with this idea all by himself.
No.
Which
Yes.
is what when you grow up in it, that's kind of the message you're given is this is all Walt Disney. And the older we get and the more traveled we are and that we get to go to other countries and see things, there are these theme parks all across the world that have been in operation for 150, 200 years that have a lot of similar components to what we see now in Disneyland, and then come to find out that these are places that Walt visited
Yes.
Yeah.
and gleaned from.
Yep.
And yes, he made it happen here, but he didn't do it by himself.
No.
I mean, there were all of these other parks, other people that helped come before him and helped him to create this. So I think that's super interesting, and part of what I'd like to do over the next however many years I'm given is visit those places, because there's these little parks all over Europe
Yes.
that when you look at them, you're like, oh, that looks like Small World. Oh, that looks like the Matterhorn. Oh, that, and you kind of, it's not the same,
Right.
but you can see the foundation of what he's built and where he's gleaned from.
My take on what Disney did for theme parks is he did two things, and it was his goal. Number one, parents and kids together.
Mm-hmm.
So most of those theme parks had rides that you would put your kid on there,
Right.
put the seatbelt on, and you'd stand off to the side and you'd watch your kid go around. He brought everybody together.
Yep.
Number two, cleanliness. Those
Right.
two things were what he said would make the difference. Because at the time there were theme parks, amusement parks,
Amusement parks.
all over the United States.
Oh yeah, Long Island. I mean,
And they
we're
were
talking
all
Coney Island,
on
right?
the downtick.
Yeah.
in the 50s. So, I mean, we're talking post-Depression.
Oaks Park.
Oaks Park. How about Jansen Beach in
Jansen
Portland,
Beach.
Oregon?
Yeah.
And they those were geared more, have the kids have fun, give the parents a minute.
Yeah.
But they all have the same problem. Cleanliness.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he just wanted a place that you could just all go together and not feel like you had to take a shower when you got before you get in the car.
Well, and he wanted you to be immersed.
Yes.
In those little places you weren't immersed because you're sitting on the little spinny ride and you see your car right there in the parking lot.
Right.
And you see, you know, the barn down the street and you see these things that are not a part of that theme park or that location and you're not immersed in it.
It seems silly, but he invented the berm when it comes to amusement parks. How else do you shut out the outside world? You hide it. You know, when you look at the biggest one for me of hiding the outside world is Cardi Land.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Every mountain ridge is lined up with a power pole on the other side of it
Yeah.
to block it.
It's amazing.
So the
No.
Cadillac mountain range
It's
blocks
blocking. Yeah.
power lines. Like how it, and that is the idea that came from Walt saying, build the berm, hide the city. And there wasn't even a city there when he built it.
Right.
Right.
But he knew it would be there. There's gonna be hotels because he built what, one?
Yeah. One. Yeah.
And knew that they would just domino in there. And so let's build the berm, run the train, run the wall, you know, like just when you're in Disney, you're in Disney, and it's the same thing that we were just saying about the Moana area. So Moana is just a walkthrough. It's just a what do you even call that? It's not a attraction. It's
a garden.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a walkthrough, yeah.
But the first thing we noticed is when you go in there, the only thing you can see besides Moana is the Epcot ball. You can't see any other part of Epcot. The way they position everything, the way they put the cliffs up, the way they put all that stuff up, is that when you're in, you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so Disney.
So I mean that's just what am I trying to think? It's like an ecosystem within the ecosystem.
Yes.
Kind of deal. You know. I mean.
You step through the gate,
Yeah.
and you're in Moana.
Yeah.
And it's
Full immersion.
right.
Mhm.
Once life gets back to normal and everything opens back up, it's not going to be a waiting area. There's not going to be a wait. It's just going to be a walkthrough.
Yeah.
It's just, do you want to go around it or do you want to go through it? And kids can go in there and get excessively wet. I didn't think it was going to be that
You
much,
can get so.
but holy crap. And you don't have to. I mean, you can avoid. And people are so hard on it, saying, why did they waste that space? It's a tiny space with a lot of impact. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a great little place.
I love it.
I love how it's interactive. The water is interactive. The music is interactive.
The little
Like-
hidden characters that you have to really pay attention to find them, and
Yep.
you know, like the water walls that disappear as you walk through are amazing. It's
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I mean, you know, since we're kind of tearing apart and putting back together Epcot all in the same conversation, you know, the walls have been up for so long, and you know, now we have this new garden area. What's it called? Walt's Garden.
Oh, I don't know what it's called.
I didn't
Where
even
the
know there
Walt
was a name.
statue
It
is.
has a name.
Really?
Yes, it does, and I can't remember what. It's got Walton Garden in there somewhere.
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, you might want to. Yeah, if only we had a device. we
Give
could
it a
find out.
goog.
But you know, I even noticed. I'm ecstatic that the walls are down. You know, first of all, I didn't. When you're in there, I don't remember the walls being up, but it's almost that same thing. When you're, was I close or no? Was I totally off?
What did you say?
I said Walt's Garden, or
You know,
it's not even close.
no, it's Dreamer's Point.
Yeah,
Dreamer's Point.
Walt's Garden, Dreamer's Point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool though. I like it.
Dreamer's Point.
but I like that. Okay, but even in that space right there, you know, I feel, I mean, it's just like the rest of the craziness of Epcot is shielded.
Yeah.
And there's no berm there.
No.
Like, it's full open. You can see from ball to port of entry.
I'm sorry?
From the ball.
Okay. So, we went in there day 2 when it opened. So, what were when you first walk in there?
I think it's beautiful. We went at night, so we got to see all the lights lit up.
It's the wall. So I didn't want to go up to the wall statue because it was very busy, and for me that's going to be one of those. I want to get a really good picture. Like that one's meaningful for me. So I want to be able to like wait for a day when it's just calm, and that's kind of cheesy, but like that's really for real. Like when I go to California Adventure, the Walt statue over there is one of my favorite, and I like to post and put my arm around him and stand with my leg crossed the same way he's standing, you know, like, so I want to have that moment. So we didn't do that, it was very busy, but I was really surprised at how, first of all, colorful it was. The lighting is really cool and pretty, like the lighting in the bushes, you know, like the little sprigs of light that come up and stuff like that. It's really cool, and the fact that when we first walked down there, so I didn't know that the colors changed in the lighting packages and stuff, but when we first walked down there, we were lucky enough to have it be the original Epcot rings, red, blue, you know, like all colored all the way around. And then it fades and changes to pink, and it changes to, but it was those individual primary colors, or how, you know, whatever that is. And I'm like, oh, that's the stuff, you know, like I do wish that center planter was a fountain.
And it used to be, right?
It was a huge fountain.
Right, and we were trying to remember what did this look like before, but is the fountain that is in front of the ball, is that the same fountain?
No.
It's a totally different fountain.
Yeah, so
they
the
just
fountain,
got rid of it.
okay, so when you would come around the back of the Epcot ball before, you had those sails that were purple and white in the sky that were like shade, and they all led down to that pin trading post in the middle, and then you had the two buildings on both sides, and you walk past that toward the countries, and there was the big fountain that danced to music and got you wet when it was windy, because it was just,
we have pictures in front of that with the kids.
And that, I think that fountain was,
Us,
I think it was still a little closer to the countries than the current planter. I don't think that they're in the exact same spot,
I mean,
and
the
I could be
planter's
wrong.
nice, but it's not.
It's not bad, but it feels a little bit like a cheap way out. Like it could have been a better, stronger
And then
centerpiece.
people are taking those pictures, and
Yeah,
it's getting
and
a
they're-
little
It's
crazy.
taking the place of whatever was in Morocco.
Yeah.
But it's not bad, but it's Disney, so I'm expecting it to be plussed, and I feel like they took away a huge interactive fountain and put in a garden.
Yeah, maybe they're not done.
No, they're done. They better be done. If they put another wall up, I'm gonna.
I mean, there's still walls up. There's still
Yeah.
the
But that's
building
just
they're
for the
not
building.
done with.
And the building's looking cool. I like the side facade that they're putting on it is looking kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like your wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is also going to come with like a music venue. So
Right.
I mean that's going to be interesting when that opens up.
I do like all the seating. I don't know what those weird fake tree trunk things are, but I mean it.
Tree trunks.
Yeah, I
Do
mean.
they have lights hanging? from
I
them?
don't
Like
understand
lanterns?
those either.
It's
I would
creative.
like,
It's artistic. It's fine.
yeah.
It's your favorite kind of
It's my favorite kind of art. No, I would like to, like hear some commentary from like the designers as to what choices were made and why.
Yeah.
I think that would explain a lot of it. I would like to see this area through the seasons because I think that there's a huge opportunity and potential during Flower and Garden.
Yes, to make that
Yeah.
thing explode.
Yeah,
Please make it explode.
I mean, they could do.
I
but
really like
I
the
agree.
seating.
Oh, yeah,
the new
Seating's
seating.
amazing.
The
And they
seating's
have chargers
amazing.
everywhere too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
chargers.
It's
just
very
it's
forward.
very nice,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
like modern, but still has that kind of nature feel to it.
And let's be real, the restaurant has not enough seating.
No.
not at all.
So now you can just walk outside on a nice day, and there's
It's
a ton of it
very
out there, and you can
busy.
charge your phone while you're eating, and it's a great addition. You can't just plunk rides everywhere. That's not how
Right.
these parks are
Well,
supposed
and I
to
don't
be
think
built.
Epcot was supposed to be a place where there were going to be a lot of rides.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It was, but let's not go there because
Well, there's some rides that are missing there, and then there's some rides that are at Epcot that I'm like, why? Like, why Guardians at Epcot?
Yeah, that throws me off a little bit. I mean, it's one of my favorite rides, but
I mean, I think Frozen is totally supposed to be there.
yeah, that makes sense. Even though you like the old ride that was there and hate Frozen,
I only said that on purpose.
yeah.
it's a good
No,
ride.
but-
Yeah, it was
Frozen-
better as Maelstrom. And if you're gonna like upgrade it and make it all new, make the thing less hurty. It hurt when the
I
boat
think it's-
shifts over. It shouldn't
Yeah.
snap my neck. I'm sorry, but I
It's
digress.
fine.
No, the only one I don't think should be there, I think, is definitely
Guardians.
is Guardians. I mean, Guardians is kind of out of place, even though it's in the
I was
space
gonna
area.
say, is it though?
It is. It's totally out of
it's
place. It
not-
should be in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's
But
it's
Epcot
too.
needed
But
that.
it-
They
They
needed
did
a
need
ride.
it.
I
But
will
it's
agree with you
too-
there.
Like Epcot's, in my opinion, is supposed to be, and I know they put the characters in other places, but
Yeah.
not so much like a certain concentration on a character or on a movie.
It's
or on,
educational.
it's
Should be educational in
and
concept.
it should what's that word? Not surpass, but it should be like for all time. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't have.
But here's the problem. Like 50% of the population said it was boring.
I know.
Said Epcot was boring.
Yes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like back original Epcot.
But I wonder how much those people that said it was boring ever truly ventured out and actually took it in to see what it was all about.
And
I
those
mean,
are
they look
thrill
at it,
park
they're like,
people.
there's no rides here, and then they leave
Right.
without experiencing, you know, what's it called?
Oh,
The
I mean,
world.
some of my favorite places.
World Showcase.
Yeah, hidden. I love going back
We're
to Canada.
still finding new things.
Canada and the waterfalls in Canada.
They're gorgeous.
I would say 90% of the people that go to Epcot never even see that.
The
I-
bonsai garden and
The
Japan.
bonsai garden in Japan,
where
or how
did
about
we
the
just go? I had
the-
never been in that movie.
in China?
in the movie.
We went to the theater, a theater in, was that in China?
The Circle Theater?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd never gone in there. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
even know that was there.
That's the one where you have to. No, you stand up in Canada. You sit down in China. I don't remember now. But yeah, there's two.
And you feel like you're moving because it's like circle vision or whatever.
Yeah, there's two Circle Vision, Canada and.
The
China.
Canada one you stand because
Okay.
I had been in there a couple of
Maybe you
times.
stand in both. I don't know.
I can't remember.
But like the museum quality of all of that area where you can just in Japan where you have all of the just off to the side there's a museum, and in China you walk through and there's all the dresses and all the or whatever it's not a dress but whatever.
Come on, that's Japanese, Japan.
The attire,
Yes.
What do you call
attire,
that?
the clothing,
Yes,
attire.
we'll go with clothing.
Yeah.
But the
Wardrobe.
one that's the best is we just talked about it with the used to have the giant thing that they took out because it was awkward.
Morocco.
Morocco.
Oh,
Morocco is the only one that was actually built by Moroccans.
yeah.
Moroccos?
And is it still run
All that tile work.
by?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you go back there and nobody like
People don't go back
1% of Epcotians.
We're
We just
creating
did-
some names.
We
yeah.
just went back and walked through there
Oh,
the
yeah.
other day.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is. And Marrakesh, the restaurant is back there.
Yeah.
We used so there was Marrakesh in Oregon when we lived in Oregon, and we'd go there on very special occasions because it was expensive.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like in the 80s and in the 90s, and they had the belly dancers.
Late 90s, early 2000s. We
I
were
was
married.
little the first time I went there. I think
I was
very
little
much.
too.
Okay.
That was 1985 was the first time I was at Epcot.
85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, 85. Also, we have no idea how this is going to turn out. We have
What are you
one
looking at?
the microphone.
Oh.
We have one shotgun microphone for 4 of us that are spread out. I don't even think it's picked up anything Mary said.
Mary's been talking the whole time.
I know.
Yeah.
Mary, can you let someone else get a word in, please?
What's your favorite thing about Epcot? I know Magic Kingdom's your favorite.
Let her answer.
Shh.
I was one that did not like Epcot when we first went. I thought it was a waste of time. I would get upset. I hated Figment. I thought it was just the dumbest. Ugh, boring. Why are we
I know.
wasting our time in Figment? Now that I'm here and I've seen it, I love Figment. We make sure we hit Figment every time we go. It's
Yeah.
So you're talking the current Figment. You hated the current one.
She
and
never
now-
saw the other
So
one.
you never saw the old show. Wow.
Yeah. What's the name of the machine?
The machine.
Yeah, that was on the ceiling. The big steampunk.
Bessie.
No. You know it. You're the
I don't
trivia
for
guy.
sure. I have a
Oh.
guess.
What?
Okay.
I think it was like the Dreamcatcher. It's like
I
it was
think
something
that's
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Where
I,
is that? I want that in my house.
I still don't understand
Yeah.
Figment. I still understand. Not that I don't like Figment. I mean, Figment's fine. I like to go on the attraction. But I don't understand where Figment came from, or like why.
Your imagination.
So he's
See-
an Imagine Dragon. Like, what
No,
is
he's
he?
the figment of your imagination.
But I would never. He wasn't a figment of my imagination. Like, he's a very specific figment.
We're Californian. We're California. Like I was anyways, born in the West.
Yeah.
Always went to Disneyland. Never came to Florida until 2014.
He's just
Wow.
he's just
And
odd
Orange
to me.
Bird, like Orange Bird for me. Like
Orange Bird, yeah.
Okay. I think Figment is better in the old attraction than the current attraction, because Figment wasn't the main
Focus.
character.
Right.
Right. It was almost like, when they changed sponsors, which I think is what happened with that attraction. They needed money, and I think Figment then became like the...
It just feels like a reach for me to have Figment all of a sudden put so much like support and love behind.
And where did that change?
When they did the popcorn
the
bucket,
bucket.
that popcorn bucket,
But
like
then look at the people that came out of the woodwork that had Figment shirts from 30 years ago, or
True.
20
Yeah.
years ago.
But
Like,
there
But
are
it
also people that had Orange
reinvigorated.
Bird from day one. And
Yeah.
nobody
it
cared about Orange Bird.
reinvigorated the
Yeah.
Figment.
oh, that
lovers.
3-hour bucket line was...
6
Oh,
hour.
you were here.
Yeah.
You were here on
I
vacation.
carried buckets.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did.
And do we have a Figment bucket?
We do. Yeah.
Like we have.
We do too.
We all have a Figment bucket. Like I don't know. You've
that's
got Figment on your wall now.
that's
like,
the Disney trick.
Yeah.
It really is. Like,
They create love where you don't have any idea why you have these feelings. You just do now.
who's the bear in Japan?
Duffy.
Duffy. Who gives a shit about Duffy?
I don't even
And then all of a sudden,
understand Duffy.
everybody loves Duffy over. Like,
So wait, that's where Duffy comes from?
yes.
I didn't know that until just
I
now.
just saw him in California Adventure, like, I don't know, a few years back, and I'm like, what is this bear doing
Duffy
here?
has
Like,
been around since Japan opened. Duffy
know.
is their Figment, their Orange Bird. Duffy is their one.
And Orange Bird has been around since before Disney was in Florida. That Orange Bird
It was for a
way,
commercial. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
way a long
That's a
time.
Florida.
And that's when Oranges sponsored.
And
Disney.
Orange Bird and is it Chubby? Chubby?
What are we talking about?
I don't know what we're talking about.
That
Chubby.
everybody thinks that the little orange bird in Runaway Railway is the orange bird, but it's not. He's his own character.
There's an orange bird in Runaway Railway?
Yes, you remember at the end where the little barn door opens and the little orange bird is up there singing to you at the very end of the train
And the
ride.
eggs hatch.
Like the fireworks are going on, and then your seat buzzes.
I'm too busy going toot toot boop boop.
That's a whole other character.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think
tune
his
in
name
next
is
year
Chubby.
when Chubby's the new bucket. I need the new Chubby bucket. And then all of a sudden I got Chubby
Can
up
you
on my
say
freaking wall.
Chubby bucket 5 times
Chubby
fast.
bucket.
Chubby bucket,
That right there
Chubby
is
bucket.
copyrighted.
Is it
We said it first.
Chubby or
Chubby.
I don't I'm looking it up.
If you'd like to get your own chubby bucket, contact Main Street Tree Company.
Oh my goodness.
Ew.
So back since you just threw that out there, back to our journey, right?
Oh, sorry, that's where we started.
Yeah, the journey.
Holy crap! What happened? We took a couple right-hand turns.
This
Oh.
is Chubby.
Chubby.
It's Chubby.
Oh yeah, okay.
Chubby is who? Oh yeah.
Chubby. And
They
there's
get
a
the
pair.
little chubby cheeks.
There's a pair of ears that have him right in the
Here
center.
we go. Buckle up, people.
And everybody thinks it's Orange Bird, and it's not.
2024 is the year of Chubby Bucket.
Chubby. It's
Chubby?
Chuuuby.
Oh, so
I think it's
definitely
Chubby.
Chubby.
Let's find out, because you can do a little pronunciation. Chubby Bird.
Oh boy.
Oh.
I was trying to steer us back to the journey,
Yeah.
and she got caught up on
Listen,
Chubby
I
Bird.
want it. I
Chubby
don't
bucket.
want
Okay,
Chubby.
Chubby.
It's like
Chubby.
it's like chewing.
and
B.
B, like B.
The misspelled Chubby seemed like the perfect name for the little orange bird with the chubby
Why did it have to
beige
be
face,
orange? Why did it have to
gold beak.
screw with us like that?
Right?
Get it? Get it? Choo choo chubby.
Ah.
Imagineering has an infatuation
Why did they have to make it a
with
bird?
Why
bad
couldn't they spell
puns and
EW?
clever word plays.
They could have spelled it with an E.
Why couldn't it have been a squirrel or a butterfly or
I don't know. I don't
If
make
it was
the rules.
a squirrel, they could have called him Chubby Nuts.
right? They could have. All right,
Yeah.
back to the journey.
I had a hamster named Chubby Nuts.
Nice.
Because he carried them in his cheeks.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
Spilled it full of food and seeds and stuff.
Fine.
Oh.
Journey.
So back to the journey. So we had I don't want to say copied your channel, but we were inspired by your
You
channel.
can say it.
We basically
We
copied
didn't
your
copy
channel.
because he made me get on camera with him.
That's true.
And you were allowed to stay off camera.
That's
I
true.
was not allowed to.
She wasn't
stay on
allowed to stay off. She was forced to.
But we.
Rob was like, "Sit down. We're gonna make a video," and I'm like, "What? What do you mean we're gonna make a video? Sit down."
She thought I was just going to record my hands unboxing things like I did
Oh,
the
no.
first one.
Did you see? There were unboxers that were like that.
Yeah,
That was
They were
our first video.
person.
that's what we did.
Really?
Because I wasn't home. I was out
No,
of
she
town.
was on the phone.
And I wanted to see. Was it Walt Life?
Yeah, it was a Walt Life box.
It was a Walt Life
So
box.
proud of you.
Yeah. we did
And
those.
I was out of town, and it came, and I was like, "Oh, I want to see what's in it."
Oh, and I call it shenanigans because you guys liked it. Your first Walt box.
Yes, it was our very first box
I
ever.
had never opened a box before.
Never opened a box. It was the first
And
time
that's
we
how
were
they get
getting
you. That's why you like Figment.
Disney stuff.
Because it's all you had is Figment. If all you have is Walt Life, you're like, hot damn.
We were very. And the
It
first
wasn't.
box, I was like, "Oh, I think there was ears in there."
Yeah, they weren't
There was
Disney.
a
No, there
pin.
was nothing Disney in that.
They only
No,
fit
there
on a
was a
doll.
pin. There was
Was
a
there a
Disney pin in the
Okay, maybe.
original packaging. I didn't know about Neon Tuesday at that point. I
What's
didn't know.
Neon Tuesday.
Neon Tuesday is the ears that are not Disney
Oh,
that they
yes.
send. Half of what they send is Neon Tuesday or Libby. That Libby.
Or what's that? What's
I thought
that
they
one?
made tea.
Libby. Huh?
Yeah, Libby.
The soup. Libby soup.
No.
Little
No.
packets of powdered soup.
No, what was the name of that? The like the cups.
It's Libby.
Is that Libby
I'm
stuff?
pretty sure.
Okay.
Um,
Anyway.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I didn't
so that was
know
our
that
first
they
video.
weren't. People getting those boxes don't know that stuff doesn't come from the parks because
Right.
unless you're in the parks every day, you don't know. So when I got that box, I was super happy. But then once I started with Bibbidi and Magic at Your Door, and I mean, I think those were, we had a couple other boxes in there. I was like, oh, wait, this has like park tags on it. It says like Disney
Right.
Parks.
They actually had like a price tag that was
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this must be what comes from the parks. And
Right.
so when we continued to get the Walt Life boxes, I was like, where are they getting this stuff? No,
Yeah.
it's all licensed to Disney.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
technically all Disney items. So if you want to be a Disney park snob, you're not going to like that box as much. So
Or-
Which you didn't.
No.
You were a Disney
you
park
are
snob.
a Disney park snob.
Yeah.
And the more boxes that we received with things that didn't make it in one piece or just
Yeah.
random things that we were like, what do you do
My
with this?
favorite was the correspondence with them on the broken cup. And we were like, hey, there's a broken cup. Could we get a replacement? Oh, we'll add an extra item in your box.
Yes.
Next one. And I
It
got a
was
pack of
stickers.
Jelly Bellies.
No,
Yes.
it was a pack of Jelly Bellies.
Instead of a mug.
Instead of a mug.
Yeah.
You got
Jelly
Jelly
Bellies with a
Because-
gold sticker on it.
Gold
It's a
We
sticker.
got the
bonus
extra
item.
Jelly Bellies as well in
Yeah.
one of our packages because we called to cancel and they're like, how about listen,
Right.
let's talk about this. We will throw in a whole extra item.
Yeah.
25 cents for the Jelly Bellies. I was like, damn, that was nice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on where you're at in life and where you are on your Disney journey.
Yeah.
If you're gonna like Walt Life or not. If you're starting out and you're like, I'm gonna try a box and it's a good price point and you don't care where the stuff comes from,
You don't
it
know
could
where
work for you.
There were some good, for bang for your buck for the amount of things. There were some boxes out there that, and it's been so long now because we really probably pulled from 15 different companies. There were some that you'd pay $150 and get $300 worth of value, and it was a ton of stuff. There was no preferences. It was just there's all this crap.
But none of it was current.
No, none of it was current, but it was all legit. And
a specific Christmas box that we've all got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
In July.
company that has always stood out with me as being better than the rest, I can't think of the name right now, but Jack would put hand drawings in
I
there,
remember
Oh,
and we
doing
would
that.
get vintage Disney stuff mixed in
Yes,
with
who
current
was
Disney
that?
stuff. So we met her and her husband or boyfriend,
Accidentally ran into her.
and she's like, "That was," and I'm like, "No," and she's like, "That's." So we went over and I'm like, "Are you?" And she's like, "Mm-hmm." No, it was so cool.
Do they still do boxes?
No.
Oh.
So Jack had left the company. There was two girls running this place, and they had a difference of opinion. And she walked away, and it eventually folded. What was the name of that company? Because it was so good.
We'll have to look that up.
I'll tell you in a minute.
I'm
Talk amongst
trying to
yourselves.
remember the other companies because you bought from overseas.
We did. We
so
bought
you
Yeah.
had.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
But-
like some of those boxes.
Those-
Oh,
pretty much
some of
all
the
those
exotic
boxes.
stuff
Yes.
that you get,
Yeah.
like that weird S&M Mickey that we got.
I remember that.
It was so good though.
Yeah,
That's the most popular
you got
Mickey over
some
there.
fun stuff, and I remember thinking, where are all these? And every time a new box would pop up, I'm like, they'd been in business for a year or two, but we'd never heard of them, and so it was interesting trying to find the boxes because we wanted variety. I'm trying
Tokyo
to think.
Kawaii Club. That's the one that we got. Some of the cool
Tokyo
stuff.
Kawaii Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was the Funko boxes we started getting.
Magical Pick Me Up. That was another one from overseas.
We had never gotten Magical Pick Me Up. I don't know why we didn't order overseas boxes. Maybe I just didn't know about them. Or
If
what.
only we watched a channel who opened them.
I
Probably
know.
had links to them.
I don't know. But I mean, we were ordering quite a few boxes there for a while.
Yeah.
In fact, when we moved from Texas to Florida, that's how we packed the majority of our house was in.
Yeah, I still
Was
have
in.
still have a shelf full
Mystery
of
box,
boxes
item box.
that I'm
They're-
not using. I put my miscellaneous cords and stuff to
They're
organize.
good boxes. They're
Yeah,
like
they're great
strong boxes.
I'm thinking about starting a box company and just using those as the boxes that we ship our stuff in. And that'd be kind of cool. They're already,
I don't
we'll
know.
call it, like secondhand Walt or something. I don't know.
I'm getting close.
Getting
It's
closer.
almost here.
Yeah.
Ooh, Walt Life.
I don't know. And then we tried to cancel Walt Life 10
I
times.
think we canceled Walt Life after the third time. I think we gave it 3 chances.
But we kept getting
and
boxes.
We still, I think we got 9 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we canceled and then we got another box and then we get 2 boxes and then yeah. So I don't know what happened with Walt Life. It was kind of like you and that one company that you got the extra large jacket from,
I got nothing. Where is it?
which I was really hoping to see that here in Florida, but
Yeah.
apparently that became a grease rag or something. No. He left the building.
He did.
Sorry, this is killing
Yeah.
me because. Okay, so let's go through some of these boxes. We got Mickey Loot. We got Main Street Treats, whoever they are.
Right?
Mickey Loot.
Yo,
So-
speaking of Main Street Treat,
Loot Crate.
so you were the reason why we ended up buying Main Street Treat. Let's just let's just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off because I
Is
didn't.
it Main Street Mail?
It might have
think
been Main
so.
Street Mail. Yeah, I remember that one.
I think. No. Wait.
Okay, while you're still, I'll keep going
Yeah,
with what I was
carry
saying.
on.
So
I think it was.
we were just watching our videos yesterday, and one that you encouraged us to take down, which was probably good, was kind of a negative review on Main Street Treat. But going back to what we were saying at the beginning, you know, our negative review was not an attack on people, or you know, how whatever they were doing. It was like these treats aren't good.
Yeah.
You know, it was all about the product. You know, it was
And
like
even in our review, I said several times, I'm like, well, they didn't make them. They didn't make these. They just picked them up. Like I was careful because I mean we hadn't yet been that type of business owner before, but I know that I don't ever want to be the kind of person to attack at a personal level,
Right.
or to even review at a personal level. Like, and knowing what I know now about how this works, I still would have said the same thing in the video because it's how I felt at the time. But now that there's a better understanding of how it works and what may have happened to lead up to that.
Well,
box.
I mean, you talk about real. I mean, our first like, and I don't. It wasn't viral, but our first video where we were going to bed and watching the views tick up. Like I stayed up
Hundreds.
until 2-3 o'clock in the morning because it was getting that many views
We were like,
after
what
I
is
uploaded.
happening?
I'm like, do we get discovered? Like, I mean, as a YouTuber, you hope that someday somebody sees you,
Yes.
right? I mean, because as much as we did it for fun, which I totally did, I continue to do YouTube for fun. I mean, there's that part of you that's like, hey, could I, you know, go hang out with Tim at, you know, dinner? Can I, you know, maybe have, you know, paging Mr. Morrow over at the house? Yeah, I mean, there's that party that wants to be connected to that community, you know. But we released this video on a Bibbidi box, and we literally we were just speaking honest.
Yeah.
I loved everything.
Yeah.
But it was her birthday box, and so she's going on like almost in tears.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is crazy to even think about with all the problems this world has, that I am upset about what I got in a merchandise box full of Disney stuff. Like, I don't even feel like I have the right to be upset about the fact that I have purchased a box that is coming to my door.
Wait, a mystery box.
A mystery box full of Disney items as a way to spend my extra money that that I happen to have because we were both working full time. And you know, I'm like, looking back on it, I'm like, oh, what a spoiled little brat. But at the time, you're in the moment, you're opening the box, it's my birthday box, I'm expecting my preferences to be in there, and it's an entire box of Star Wars stuff. And so I was upset. I was like, ugh.
So, exact same thing. And the reason for the big spike is the passion.
Mm-hmm.
So, our big moment where, like, we thought, I can go tell my boss to screw off today. So, we have a video go up, and I'm watching the numbers, we're getting ready for work, and I'm like, what's going on? And by the time we get to work, so, like, I've been looking at it, it's been up for like an hour and a half, and we're up like 250 subscribers, and it's got thousands of views. And our normal video at the time was like, in a week we'd get 400 views, or, you know, like something like that. And we're just like, what is going on?
Yep.
And what was it? Me trashing Mouse Marketplace for lying to me about these treats coming from Main Street, and my throwing them at the wall because I was so... did some research
FCC.
after I purchased it and found that they're making them themselves, and dug into it, took screenshots, explained what I saw when I ordered, what I now have come to understand, and was just so on fire. And it wasn't like to be that shock jock stuff. Like, it was just...
it was genuine.
I was
like,
angry that they're doing this to people, and that it's just pure profit. Like, it's just smoke and mirrors. And one person shared it, who happened at the time to own Main Street Tree Company, to her
Wasn't us.
Facebook group. No. And all of her followers went to go look because that used to be her company.
Right.
And this is what this person did with it. And so she's like, look at what he did.
Yeah.
And everybody just absorbed it. But those are the videos that people care about. Are the ones where you're just like, I don't care. Like, I know I'm supposed to be this, and I'm not. And I'm just, you need to understand. You know, like.
But you didn't do that for views.
No.
We
That was
didn't
from the real place.
my birthday box or our Main Street treat when we did our Main Street
We
treat
actually
video.
didn't even drop our Main
For
Street
views.
treat box for almost a month after we
we
did.
did
We weren't
it.
going to do it.
Because I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was a small family business, and I was like, I don't. And even in the video, you can see me like, are we
Yeah.
gonna put this? We're not gonna put this out there. Like, we'll put that under the rug. But then that wasn't fair to our viewers either.
Right.
Like, people watch to see, should we do this? Should we buy this? And I honestly, with that box that we received, like, no.
Yeah.
Like, if this is what you're getting, something is wrong. Now, they made it right.
Yeah.
You know, after some
Oh
conversations.
yeah. Oh yeah. We had to have some conversations and emails, but
And I
mean, it came back.
understand now as the owner of Main Street.
right.
Like, I understand their skepticism of everything in the box. Nothing was good. What? Because that never happens.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That
you're so
never
frustrated at
happens.
the moment, like everybody else, and you're like,
Mhm.
this is crap. And
Yeah.
they're like, what part? And you're like,
All of it.
because the
Yeah.
one thing. So we
I mean,
had.
that crispy might have been just okay. I mean,
Right.
But
just
now
didn't
that
have
we're
quite
here,
as much flavor.
like, and now that we've figured out that I can go get a treat
Yeah.
on a Friday night, I can put it in a box and I can ship it on Saturday. When I bought it on Friday, I have no way of knowing how long it was sitting on that shelf in those places that I bought it from.
Right.
I don't know. So, and I'm not going to taste test it before I send it to you.
Why not?
You know? So I don't know. But I understand how once in a while, maybe one thing might be a little off.
So before you owned it, we had one box came that was some stuff plus 2 apples. And I felt terrible about it. And actually, I didn't post this one because it wasn't anybody's fault. It was the world happened. And in the box, the 2 apple sticks were pointing at each other this way, and one penetrated the other one, and it started to turn brown through the hole, obviously. It had air in there. And so I'm like, I can't. Because, number one, it's not fair. This is like a lightning strike.
Yeah.
Right.
The fact that it got bounced the right way to have that stick poke into one, through the plastic, into the apple, that's nobody's fault. That just sucks.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You know, like, is it fair to me to go, holy crap, look at this rotten apple I got? No, it's not fair. I see what happened. I pulled it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she didn't go,
Yeah.
stick it in the box.
Yeah.
It just,
Right.
shit happened. It bounced around and it landed the right way. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. So, like, I just said, I'm just not going to do this one.
And you know, you told me about that box that you didn't post.
Yeah.
And so when I'm packaging something, I'm always mindful of every
You
stick.
never make,
where
you
you
make
all
sure
the
those
positions.
apples don't.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
But who would
Yeah.
think that way?
No,
You
I
would
think that.
think when you put a box
Uh-huh.
together, do it like that so
And
they
they're gonna
fit
stay
right.
there.
Right.
Right, but
Yeah.
it just bounces the right way.
Yeah.
And it,
Yeah.
The
Popped it in there.
USPS, man, I tell you.
Oh,
Yeah.
they were awful
Yeah.
this year too. But
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
I wish that more of this, the more like general. Oh, here's what we got and we love it. Would garner that attention that sometimes the negative videos get. And I think that that's why it has taken us, and both of us, really, you grew faster than we did. Must be something in your personality, I don't know what, but
it's the list.
you grew faster than we did. But I think we both did it in a way where we're watching other channels maybe get those big boosts and grow because they're negative.
That was the problem.
And I didn't
Yeah.
want to be that. And I
No.
know you guys didn't want to be that either.
And but before we did some of those videos, there weren't negative videos. Like,
Right.
it was so rare to see somebody poo-poo Disney
Yeah.
that then I think people caught on
Right.
to negative, and it was true. Negative videos did better.
Yeah.
That
But
didn't
then they
mean-
started
Then
started
they went over the
creating
top.
the
They went over the top.
negativity.
Yeah.
When I started seeing people breaking stuff with a sledgehammer, you lost me.
Ooh. Yeah, right.
Because
Oh, that just hurts it just
Oh.
hurts. It hurts deep.
if when you're just after view count,
Yeah.
you're hollow already.
Yeah.
Like, we never sought out to just blow somebody up.
Yeah.
The one, I did some research, and yes, I was hot already before I shot it because I already did my research.
You
and I
were
found
lied
out-
to. That's
I
different.
was lied to.
That's different.
Yes.
If somebody lies to me,
And I did explain it,
Yeah.
and I did put up the information
Yeah.
that I saw when I bought it, and then the information that I found after I got whispers of maybe this ain't right. So I did my research and I posted all that in that video, and I said this is what I thought I was getting. I did the same thing with Loot Crate. This is what I thought I bought. This is what they sent me. You know, like
right.
A year later.
a year later.
A year later.
And then kept sending, and then kept sending, and then I'm pretty sure that I'm probably gonna get a box tomorrow. That I
There's
never paid for
boxes
any of them.
stacked up at the old house.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
The new owners are opening boxes today.
They're
Yeah.
like, what? Oh, a
They-
jacket.
they have all these Nemo coin purses that smell like a raft, just coming out of the woodwork. And
Well, I think that's what I loved about your channel, and is the authenticity. And I mean, what you see on your channel is who you are, 100%. Like, I did this documentary on Pete, and Pete will tell you, some days he doesn't feel like going on. Like everything that he goes through, sometimes he does not feel like turning on the camera.
yeah,
But he knows he's already posted the video. He knows he's going to go on. Once you press record or once you press go live, it's that switch and you go on. And that's where my opening came from. Like, I think that there was a little bit of anxiety to it. I mean, we're both teachers. I'm used to standing in front of people. I'm used to coaching in front of crowds. But it was that, like, I'm looking through the camera at what could be millions of people, hopefully someday. But what do I say? How do I do it? And I had to take some of that inner personality in me to just go, well, hello, Disney. I mean, that just came out. Like, that was like 30 seconds before we went on camera the first time. I didn't know what I was going to say.
yeah,
And then I was like, all right, here we go. This is go time, And I think it was just that coach in me, that teacher that was just like, boom. But, aside from the intro, I want everything to be authentic.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and it takes too much energy to create a character.
Yeah.
Like what you see in our videos, would you say that's how we treat each other when we're off camera? Like
you're much meaner in person.
I'm much meaner off camera. No, like
that's why we have the cameras on all the time. It's the only way I get a reprieve.
I couldn't do it that way though.
Yeah.
Like, it was very different. So if I had a bad day at work, like I could plan all day. This box came in, we're gonna do it tonight, and I would have a bad day, and I would come home and I would just be like, sometimes I would wait a week and a half. Like, I couldn't be in the right mindset to be fair sometimes. So I didn't want that to bleed in because I know who I am, and if I'm in a bad mood, I'm gonna judge it different.
right.
So sometimes I had to produce most of the time once a week, and then toward the end twice a week. And if I just wasn't in it, like I just can't do it right now because I wanted to be able to give my personality and not my day. You know what I mean? So if I was right, then sometimes I'd pump out 5 boxes in one sitting because I was in the right mood and could do it fairly. Because I didn't want to let my day judge somebody's company.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I can't, like, I'm not an actor. I'm not, like, I can't.
Yeah. You
I
can't
remember
fake it.
those days. You would have like several wardrobe changes. We'd have shirts all over the
Yeah,
bed.
because-
We'd go on
We
picnics.
did that.
Because I'd just be good. So, and then I'd look back. Like, every time I'd shoot, I'd look back at my last videos and see how long has it been since I wore that shirt. Like,
We didn't. We were like, oh, did we wear this in our last video? Oh well.
but because I wanted, that was the biggest thing, is we wanted to be the most fair, the most authentic. So I felt like if I was either super in a good mood or if I was super in a bad mood, I had to be like just a normal day.
Yeah.
And then I could just sit down and we could do it. Because we would plan, like, all right, tonight we got to do this box and this box, and I'd have a customer with a propane company that looked at me sideways, and I have a hard time shaking that sometimes, and so I'm like, listen, I can't, I'm not. Sometimes we'd set it all up, all the lights would be on, and I'd sit there and I'm like, I can't
Not
do it.
today.
Yeah.
It's not fair to anybody either way, either over the top or under. You know, like I had to find that even keel for myself to try and be as authentic as I can when I actually open it. The first actual unboxing. So our first unboxing was one of my favorite things that Disney put out, and it was those movie boxes.
Oh my gosh, those were amazing.
The Toy Story movie box,
So jealous that you had those.
Marvel, the Star Wars, those were such quality. The box, the stuff, and the price. It was like such cool stuff. So those were my first. The Toy Story one was my first one I ever did. But my first actual unboxing was a Magical AF box from the Magic at Your Door. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that was their box, yeah.
I think that was my first. So it shows up, and I actually flipped it upside down, cut the bottom of the box, unloaded it from underneath, because I wanted to see. I was so excited. And then I gently packed it all back in, and then on camera, I cut the tape on the top and did the unboxing. So that was fake. But I had to plan it in my head, and then at the end of that shoot, I was like, that was so dumb. You know, like it was a learning experience for me. Like, this is not what, you can't plan your reaction. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like.
That, and it was a $300 box.
It was, and I was nervous that she's gonna be like, "What did you do?" but
It was probably a good box in the beginning.
it was a
right?
great box.
Yeah.
We had
those first boxes, yeah, those were great.
one of my favorite things we ever got was that I'm gonna say the wrong word, but that purple Haunted Mansion throw, which is a
Oh yeah, it's in the bedroom.
yeah, and it was in our classic car on the back seat of Leona. There was some amazing stuff in there, but immediately I was like, "You're stupid. This is what it's about, is the opening." You know, so after that I never did that again. I never pre-opened anything, or like, I didn't want to know. I wanted to really be genuine. You know, sometimes I would fake it a little bit because it was her crap.
A lot of the times.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh!
Mary's gonna be so excited.
Well, and I would joke about it, you know,
Yeah.
like this should be her box, you know, like it's the same thing, you know, like, but
It was her
I'm
box,
still
but-
thrilled that she's happy. But then when I get a Mickey Jim Shore, or you know, that I don't have, and there's just so much Disney stuff I love, but
Yeah.
Well, it was like we were rewatching some videos last night, and or this morning, I don't know when that was, and there was a box that we got, and we got something, and my reaction was just like totally weird. Like I did like this weird. He pulls it out, and I went, "Oh!" Like it was just like something that I would never. And then I was watching him like, "What? What was that?" And he's looking at me where he's like,
you're like, it's a Nemo coin purse, calm down. It's a
It was
scarf.
hilarious. It was
Oh my
the
gosh.
Jungle Book or the Jungle Cruise
Oh.
Funko with Mickey as the
captain,
Captain, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a story behind it. We wanted it. We saw it. We didn't buy it. It was gone.
Yeah.
And then it showed up in a box that wasn't even part of my preferences or anything. And I just had this,
It's like
this
they know.
crazy
Yeah.
reaction
Yeah.
that if I would have known it was there beforehand, I wouldn't have done that.
Right.
I don't even know why I did it that time. It was the weirdest thing.
It will be up as a short.
He's putting it up as a short.
I'm definitely
he thinks
gonna,
it's
I'm gonna
hilarious.
cut it.
There were some box companies that just got it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like Bibbidi didn't do it for me. I like their boxes.
I liked them at first, and then
We were getting
have
three
the
a
same.
month from them.
We have
What
the
did
same critique. I mean, it was okay, maybe 1 out of 3 boxes something says Bibbidi on it,
Yeah.
and then it was like 2 out of 3,
Yeah.
and now half of my stuff all has like a Bibbidi logo. I'm like,
That's
y'all are making this stuff.
that apple, the poison
I
apple cup.
loved that.
It's a great cup.
I didn't when you
When I
pulled
look at
that
the
up and you were
bottom-
like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is an amazing cup.
I like the cup, and I said I like
Yeah.
the cup. But I don't pay Disney prices
Right.
for a bibbity product.
But the
You
cup
haven't
was
earned the right.
amazing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you still have it?
Yes.
Yeah,
You
No,
use
I
it?
agree. I
Okay,
agree
yeah.
that
that's where
that
they
you
lost
have
It's
to
a nice
earn the
cup.
right for a Disney price.
Yes.
You know,
You should be half of a Disney price.
I would have been happy with
you
the
go
cup.
on Etsy and people are selling Disney inspired stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't sell your ears for $50.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're selling for in the park. Now, if your ears are better than Disney,
Fine. Match Disney's price.
Match
be
Disney's
better at the
price.
same price. Yeah.
right? You should not be more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you better have something like, you know, ears that make you fly
Right.
or something.
McDonald's is not selling a $12 basic cheeseburger.
You
Well,
don't
they
want
do
to know
if you're
how
in
much we
Baltimore.
just spent on McDonald's last night.
But
Not good.
a
night.
cheeseburger
What
is
did
not
you
$12.
spend
It
at
is a
McDonald's
Disney.
last night? How did what
It's
did
getting
Trace buy
crazy.
it?
No, but Trace ordered.
Oh my gosh. Literally, we went to dinner yesterday. This is totally off topic, but so Trace was in town for Christmas, and that wasn't yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever. We went to Saltgrass, and we're like, all right, you know,
Budget.
Mackenzie was with us, the four of us. It was our dinner, our time to spend together before he went back to Oregon, and she went back to work. And I was like, all right, yes, we're at Saltgrass, we're gonna have a nice meal, but just remember, like, we're kind of on a budget here, so let's just, you know, be realistic. Here's the T-bone, $35.99. I'm like, and then he upcharges. He gets like the upcharge asparagus, and then I was okay, whatever. It was fine,
The
but
kid knows what he wants. Yeah, I
he
mean,
was like,
I
I'll
saw
pay
that
for
when we
it.
were at
I'm like,
Raglan.
yeah.
oh yeah, yes. We go
Yeah.
to the same thing. We went to Raglan, and we're like, all right, we're on a budget. You know,
He's not on a budget.
he's not on
No,
a budget.
He's on his budget.
We're like, we're having water.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need 9 fingers of bourbon.
yeah. I'm like, what is happening? Oh.
And we're like, well, he's gonna be on that for a while. Oh, that's gone. I
He's
just
living it
thought
I
up.
don't know who his dad is.
of the name of the little segment.
Okay.
Off on a tangent.
Off on a tangent.
I like it.
Yep. Yep.
I like it.
Oh my gosh.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't even know, like, did we have a direction? This
No,
evening?
that's the
We
best
just-
part. We just let it flow
Just off on
and
a
see where it
tangent.
goes.
For sure. Yeah, I think we can wrap it on up so you can pee. Yeah.
I already did.
Oh, okay, good.
It's fine. It's getting cold now, though.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, I guess I'll have to wrap it up then.
Wrap it up.
All right, so.
Maybe you should let Mary wrap it up.
No.
I mean, she's really taken the majority of time tonight to share her opinions and how she
She's
felt
just,
about everything.
the look on her face, I wasn't looking, but I can tell she's like, what the heck have I gotten myself into?
That was the look.
Mm-hmm.
That was the look most of the night.
That
yeah.
was the same look at our wedding.
Yeah. Well, this won't be the last time for sure.
Thank you for
Oh.
having us
Yeah.
at my house.
Welcome,
Thank you for.
welcome
Yeah.
to your home.
No,
This is a studio reproduction of your home.
Yeah.
Right, we're in the garage.
Yeah.
We're gonna move these walls back in, but no, for real. Like, thank you guys for having us be a part of this. Hopefully, we can do more of this because I really like to just vent.
Yeah. And
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 reminisce.
I like spending time
We could
with
get
friends.
back to our journey, like how.
Yes, we
Yeah.
never got past the doorstep of our
Episode
journey. Yeah.
Well, I did say that you were the reason we bought Main Street Treats. So, I mean, that was kind of.
We
the
can
intro.
get further into that.
We're gonna have to do that on another night, I think.
Yeah, and
We'll
then
do
like
separate night.
the journey to get here for both of us,
And how you ended up as the owners of Park Hopper Choppers.
yeah, and the soon
Mobility
owners of we never know
scooters.
who, but
Yeah.
yeah, things are growing, and I hope we are here next year.
Go check
Hope
out
we're here
Park
next
Hopper
month.
Choppers for your scooter and whatever. Yeah.
Mobility scooter
Mobility
rental needs.
rental. That's it. Mobility scooter rental needs. That's it. So
We got your back.
yeah. Well, we're definitely gonna do more of these. This is part of our. Well, what did you just call it? It's off on a tangent.
Yes.
So this will be off on a tangent on our Taco Tuesday show. I think I like
So
that.
what? Yeah,
I
we
think
got to
I like
figure this
that.
out. Like,
Just let it
is
kind
So-
of flow where
yeah.
one Tuesday a month. We
Taco
do
Tuesday off on a
tangent?
tangent. I like
we
it.
just we pick up from where we started, where we just said we originated here. We'll go to step 2 of and then we'll just
We'll just
wherever
keep-
it goes, it goes.
Keep going.
Do we bash Epcot for a while? Yes. Do we?
Oh
It's
my
not
gosh.
a bashing. It's just a conversating about it. It's
Yeah.
just, you know,
It's all just
we're
opinions in it.
putting our feelings out there. And
I'm waiting for Disney to call me for advice because I could probably fix a lot of their problems.
Bob,
So,
bring it.
yeah,
Bob,
right? I know he's watching.
we need to talk. We've got some ideas. Things are brewing. By the way, kick Scooter Bug out. Bring Park Hopper Choppers in. Anyway, we've got an idea for a 5th gate. We're going to talk about that on the next episode. It's going to be good.
Write that down.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And come back next Tuesday for whatever kind of shenanigans
shenanigans.
we might
I love that
come up
word.
with. If
Drop
you're
the S
in the
word.
Orlando area and you're interested in coming in with us on a Taco Tuesday tangent, off on a Taco Tuesday off on a tangent,
Off on a taco.
yeah, let me know. DM me. Slide into the DMs, and maybe we'll come over to your house.
Okay, we're
Sorry.
It's kind of
We're
creepy.
cutting all of that out because they can come on a Taco Tuesday and be interviewed, but this is off on a tangent.
And if they're coming to Orlando, their house isn't here.
Right.
No, I mean if
So
they
if they're
live
in
in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Didn't I say that?
Yeah.
I'm
If
pretty
you're
sure I
in
did.
Orlando.
Anyway, off on a tangent.
The whole thing is off on a tangent. All right. Hey, appreciate you being here on Disney Connections, where we're going to talk about all things Disney.
Bye.